Alright guys, Bill here back with more NieR Automata. I just realized that we're past 12. Oh wait, I can fast travel. Yeah, we're going to the resistance camp. Let's do that. Oh, I can't fucking fast travel there? Well, that's some bullshit. I guess we'll go to City Ruins then. Whatever. It's past 30 minutes, so I can check on how my Yakuza video is doing. It's not doing well. I can show you that. Number 9 out of my last 10. It's doing worse than my fucking other Yakuza video. How lovely. Whatever. Who fucking cares? At least I haven't lost any subscribers yet. I forgot we're without 9S at this point. I love this soundtrack. How far away are we? We're still that far away. Wait, this is it? Ah, shit, not what I meant to do. Pfft. Whatever, let's just go, I guess. Why couldn't we fast travel here? Either way, I think we have enough. Oh, wait, we don't have enough money. Shit. You know what, though? Let's go sell one of those shock things. Should we sell that? Yeah, one of these, because we're not using these. Didn't we have more? Yeah, they're shockwaves. Okay, we could sell these. I'm never using these. Just sell 2 of them. And then upgrade. There we go. Okay, let's also restock on this. I think we'll just... Well, I don't think we're gonna bother buying those. I doubt we can afford anything there, so that's not really worth it. What is this? Melee attack.
I'm looking for something called a dynamic scanner that can detect black box signals. A dynamic... Oh, you must mean the one the twins built.
Ooh, the twins.
I think they're just back from an expedition, actually. You should see some red-haired androids over there.
Yeah, there we go.
Try talking to them.
Devil and Popola.
2B. Those twins, they... Yes? Actually, never mind.
Yeah, when I first played this, I didn't remember Devil and Popola. Even though I played the original NieR. This should be interesting. Like, Emil I recognized, but I did not recognize Devil and Popola for some reason. I think Emil I recognize from, like, out-of-game sort of stuff. He's like, I don't even think I got that far into the playthrough. Anyway. Oh,
What
there
do
they
you
are.
want?
Easy, Devila. There's no need to be so confrontational. And you don't have to trust every idiot that wanders by. I'm sorry about that. Can we help you?
I need a scanner that can detect faint black box signals.
Yeah. I was tinkering with something like that a little while back. Here, if you want it, it's all yours. That chip should help with your search. Once you install it,
Only
it can
13
detect
Sentinels
black
video
box
past
signals,
100
detect
views.
objects,
Look
all
at
manner of
that.
things. You'll hear a sound whenever
My
it
Jeff
finds
Probst video got
something.
And
7,000,
if it
so
ever
I'm pretty
bugs you too
content
much,
with
you can
that.
always pop it back out.
Let us know if there's anything else you need from us, okay? And don't think this makes us friends. Oh, Devila.
Okay. Wait. Don't I, wait, so where am I going then? Am I going back to Flood City? How do I use a scanner? Oh, why didn't I do that? As a transport. Oh yeah, I forgot. I never did finish listening to the thing from yesterday. The round table. So let's do that. How much do I have left?
Book your summer
Okay, I'm
travel
about
with
halfway
free
through.
cancellation on Hotels.com. You can't go wrong with Hotels.com.
Other point that I mentioned to bring up about Claire, or I meant to bring up about Claire, was that the rift between Tiffany and Kylan stemmed from Claire. She succeeded in completely changing the trajectory of Tiffany's game once before. When she put effort into it, she managed to convince Claire to go in a completely separate direction. I think that tells me that there's some promise there as well, that she could potentially do the same with other people or with Tiffany again. So some intrigue there, but yeah, I mean, if she's not gonna like full on make sure she gets a cookout member out next week, then I think I actually would see her throw that and not feel too bad about it.
Am I doing the wrong
So,
thing? I feel like we
the
would have
audience
heard like.
also went with a 7. It's going to be straight 7s from us here on the panel and the audience. Let's move on to Big D. Melissa, how do you feel about Big D?
I feel similarly about him as I did last week. I don't really feel that his game has changed all that much. I think that you're right when you say, that he could be someone who ends up just going to the end. But I do think that with people talking about, potentially targeting him, I do think that out of the cookout,
Actually, let's look this up. I just want to look up the guy and see if I'm doing everything.
Ozza and Big D. Obviously, Hannah is seemingly in danger because she was possibly going to be the target this week. But I think that people like Tiffany will protect Hannah, whereas I don't know if I see Tiffany protecting Ozza like she protects Hannah. If it came down to Hannah versus Ozza, I think that she'd let Ozza go, and I think the same thing with Big D and Hannah. I think she would want to keep Hannah around and let Big D go. So I don't think he's in such a safe position, and so I just feel like I just want to stick with my rating of a 4.
All right. Here's the thing. Last week I gave Big D a 4. This week He's dead to me. So, docking him a point. He's a 3. Take that, Big D.
Oh my god. I'll take it.
Genuinely, he's played worse this week. He's pissed people off even more. I think his endgame chances have lowered even more. And I think that, I think Ozza is now in a better position socially than Big D when it comes to winning a jury vote, which is kind of what matters for players like this right now. So, it's a 3 for me. What do you think, Ben?
I like the assessment. I like the part where you said that he's dead to you. Because I feel you there. No, honestly, no one is more disappointed in Big D than me, the guy who drafted him in the draft. However, congratulations to Big D. Unless Claire wins an HOH, you're guaranteed the final 3 by the sounds of everything. He's pretty much punched his ticket to the end game. No one's looking to go after him. If we would be rating based on how likely are you to not touch the block because people are terrified of how whiny you might be, Big D's getting a big 10 on that, for sure. There's genuinely that factor of, well, I don't want to put him on because I don't want to deal with that. So that's all great, but the win equity is fleeting. The win equity is gone. It's evaporating. There's not much I can see for him to do to really shake it up. And with all that considered, do I see him? Like, 4. Damn, I don't want to be wasting anybody's time. Let's just go with a 3.
There you go, a 3 from Puya. And Puya, the audience says,
how's he not dead?
You chose right. They also gave him a 3 this week. There you go.
Wow, I was being generous. I didn't think I was going to be the generous one here. I was like, man,
I think Big D's a 4. I mean, he's
I hope I'm not being
so fucking safe in the game.
Yeah, and again, the dead to me thing, just to be clear, for those that might complain, it was a joke. Genuinely, I think his win equity has gone down. The way people talk about Big D this week versus last week is considerably taken a negative turn, and I think that's not good for him in the long term.
Sure.
Yeah.
We
all right, well, let's talk about Derek X. How do we feel about Derek X? I like Derek X as a player a lot. Derek X started at literally the worst possible position in the game. He was the social pariah in week 1. And
use a
he
scanner?
had very little knowledge of the game to help him work his way up. But this guy has been clawing and scraping his way up the entire season, and I really admire him for it. I think he has a lot of great instincts as a player. This week, though, was definitely a big blow to his game. Long term, he loses Whitney, who could have been so valuable to him. She was very loyal to him. She was a number for him. She was one of the people. She was essentially his last chance of forming any power base of his own. With Whitney and Hannah, even if Hannah was a double agent, Whitney potentially helping connect him further to Christian and Alyssa. I mean, imagine a world where Whitney was staying this week and Brittany was leaving instead. And this sort of truce thing that happened between Derek X, Hannah, Christian, and Alyssa instead was the thing Whitney was trying to put together, which would have been, himself, Whitney, Christian, Alyssa, maybe X gets involved, maybe they do end up pulling Hannah in. Now all of a sudden there's a genuine amount of people in a group that maybe only one of them is in the cookout, and now there's a power base where there are targets that are bigger than him there, that he actually has some numbers to do something if he wanted to. It could have been much better, and losing Whitney here is very unfortunate for him. And on top of that, Hannah being pulled into Tiffany's vortex means that the only ally he really has left in the game that is his closest ally is Tiffany's. And Tiffany is giving Hannah the words to say to play Derek X the way that she wants, and Hannah is bringing back everything that Derek X says to Tiffany so that she can keep an eye on the situation. If he ever gets a second thought about Tiffany, it's gonna go straight to her, I think. And that's not great for his long-term prospects. Now, the good thing for his long-term prospects is that Tiffany doesn't plan on taking him out anytime soon.
Ah, shit.
So he should be here for a little while. And really, I think apart from the like win his way to the end from Final 7 or whatever, which is kind of his current best path to win. I think that his next best hope is Kyland, and the fact that Kyland has fallen out of favor with Tiffany means that Kyland may be looking for allies. Kyland, somebody that previously talked about maybe not being the most loyal to the cookout. And if Kyland recognizes that his position in the cookout has deteriorated to the point that it has, he may be looking for, where are my friends? And Derek X could be a friend. Now, I also don't love Derek X going after Sarah Beth. I get it because Sarah Beth is gunning for Hannah and, in a way, also gunning for him. But what I would like to see from Derek is maybe I can pull together a group of, Kyland and Sarah Beth, and maybe I can reconcile the relationship here. Maybe with the help of Kyland, we can get Hannah, me, and Sarah Beth in a room together and say, we should not be gunning for each other. We have bigger problems. Who else do you have in this game, Sarah Beth? Because I'm going to bet that it's probably about the same as us. Not very many. Why are we going after each other? We should have each other. And with Kylan there to help back it up, I think it could work. I don't think you need to be, locked into this war here. So I don't like the fact that he's going after Sarah Beth next week either. I don't love the trajectory of his game. I don't love this week losing Whitney. And because of that, I, similar to Claire, almost went down to a 6, but I think he has, similar to Claire, enough time in this game to potentially turn things around. But again, Derek X, if you don't change this trajectory, your rating's gonna go down very soon, dude. So get to work, because it's gonna happen. And the audience is with me on the 7. I can tell you, let's compare it to last week. They were higher on Derek X last week than this week. They have moved down on the 7 scale. So they kind of agree with me on this one, Derek. All right. Kuya, what do you think?
Yeah, I've written down 7 as well. I feel, I guess, less down on DX and his prospects here. Ultimately, I know that Whitney could have been a ace in the hole for him, potentially a number for him.
See this one.
But Whitney has been drowning, and I think the good thing is he let it go quick. I mean, I understand that it was between, it's Chada versus Whitney. He's gonna pick Chada. He makes the right choice here. But no. I think that he's someone that
is it the right choice?
With every passing week that he's picking up more, he's doing more, he's learning, he's getting better situated. I think he's gonna be fine. I think the fact that we can pretty much guarantee he's making the jury is great. Outside of maybe a Derek F HOH win, which I think shame of me to say, but I don't think he's going to win it. I feel like he's going to be fine. I think he's someone who's capable. I think there's many conversations that can be had between now and his inevitable targeting that he could shift the tide. But we have to see it. The one thing I didn't like, the one thing I didn't really like is that he pushed and pushed and pushed to win this comp this week. Despite maybe not really wanting to win it. Or needing to win it. I feel like that I didn't really like, but I'll allow him. It's fine, because Christian still turns out to be the biggest target of them all. Also, he is the chosen one, Taryn. Derek X is the King Slayer. He's been decreed that he has to be the one to take Christian out. No one else can do this. He has been given the sword, so he has to be their friend for that storyline purpose.
Oh, I didn't see that one there. I think it's just the one that we need to find.
Yeah, I agree with you guys. I do think that, he is
The fact that we're getting dialogue
losing
and
Whitney
everything.
this week, which is bad for him. However, I do think that even though he's possibly in a dangerous spot moving
There's
forward,
way too much time doing
there's
this.
people in the alliances that I want to say matter the most, but I don't know if that's the exact wording I want to use, but I guess like the people who are calling the shots in the alliances want to keep him around for
Please,
longer, aka
anything will help.
Tiffany. She likes him. She wants to work with him.
Nice.
Hannah wants to work with him.
That kid who was
Claire
with
likes
you,
him. I
right?
feel like he's
I
got a
saw
lot of
him,
in
alright.
with a lot of people,
That
and I
explosion
do
sent him
think though
flying.
they need to figure out this Sarah Beth thing. If he and Hannah want to move forward, and
I'll
we
take my
just have to
best
see
guess
how
at
it
a
all plays
landing
out with
spot.
Hannah
Transfer
and
the
Tiffany,
data.
because
Thank you.
I don't.
You should stay here until the rest
I would hope that Hannah isn't putting all of her eggs in one basket with Tiffany and is instead kind of like, okay, I've got these two people working for me, and kind of keep them each on the line so that way she has two possible final twos. I don't know. But we'll just have to see how this goes. But yeah, I am really impressed with how Derek X has really gotten
Where's this?
a handle on the game itself. And so I do think he's a really smart guy, and I have faith that he's going to be able to figure this out. But I do think that losing Whitney as an ally is not great for this week. But, he isn't in a bad position moving forward, especially because people want to keep him around to go after Christian. So that's a 7.
All right.
Yeah, we'll just head back.
Let's move on to Hannah then. Hannah, an interesting case here. She is on the block, but in many ways her position has almost improved. Not almost, actually. Her position has improved, but she's on the block. So let's talk about that. I can tell you that the audience... Sorry, it's still on my laptop and it's going to die, so I dimmed my screen. The audience gave Hannah a 6. A 6 this week, same as last week. Actually, let me see what wow, well, this is like the exact same rating, actually. Almost the exact same rating as last week. So interesting positioning there. Puya, how do you feel about the 6 for Hannah?
I had Hannah at a 6.
Actually, wait, we don't need the thing anymore, right?
And I changed that rating because you are right. She is on the block, and from the block has only improved her game.
Skills,
only
right?
improved her trajectory. And let's not forget the very respectable job she did with Christian to try and not be put on the block. She was very close. Like you said, she took her foot off the gas. Had she known she had a chance, I think she could have completed that. Didn't. That's fine. However, since then, what has happened? Hannah is in a position where she's got a couple new
I think about it, it's like going all the way up
this.
this.
With Tiffany,
It'll take a while.
This final 2 has surpassed the Kylan final 2 with Tiffany, which to me is huge for her. She has now a final 3 within the cookout between her, Tiffany, and X, which I think puts her in a solid spot. I feel like there's many people ahead of her that would leave potentially before she does. The person that might have been after her the hardest is now the target next week, and could very likely be out the door before jury even begins. That means that's no sweat off your back. That person's gone. That is not a vote you need to worry about. You're okay. So all of this, to me, is a net positive, is an improvement. So, but here's my big conflict, right? I feel like I wanted to give her a 6, but she was already a 6. And because of the net positive, I have to go up. Or at least I want to go up. So I'm going to throw a 7 out here for Hannah.
Skilled trade professionals make nearly everything we do possible. UTI is making more than $15 million in scholarships and grants available to help meet the demand. Visit uti.edu to see jobs in demand and how you can train in less than a year.
Morning Star Farms. Made from plants?
All right, Melissa, what do you think?
Yeah, I absolutely see what Puya's saying, and I do think that I need to, go up in my score for her because I do think she's in a much better place than she was last week in terms of her positioning in the cookout and, in the house and all that, especially with Tiffany wanting to take her under her wing. I mean, that's huge. The fact is, though, that she is on the block, which isn't great. I do think that now that she's been on the block, people will not be as scared to put her up on the block. You tend to see that, when once someone's already been on the block, it's like, well, just throw her up there again. It's not a big deal. She's already done it. Rather than, upset someone else and put someone else on the block. So I do think that that's a little bit concerning moving forward. And I think that people think that, okay, well, we're not getting Hannah out right now because people want to get Whitney out, but, she's going to be the next one or 1 or 2 later, which is like not necessarily the case. But you know, if they get in power again, who knows? So you know, I don't really know how it's going to go from here, but I
probably
do
at the
think that
bottom
she
of
is
this
on
thing.
an upwards trajectory.
Shit's
So I
not
am
on the
going to go with the
D.
6 because that's higher
that
than
was
my
terrible.
5 from
Signal detected. The
Yes,
transmission seems to be
you know,
coming
Puya,
from
you make a compelling argument for the 7. I was definitely on a 6. I considered a 7 as you made the case. I think ultimately I have to stick with my 6 here, and primarily because it's too new. This new position that Hannah's in, right? She's on the block. Her position is dramatically improved, but I still remember her overconfidence in the prior week, and I still remember how often Tiffany changes her mind on things. And like, really, Hannah's like source of safety and power in this game is solely being fed through Tiffany right now. Her own connections, not so much going to be doing it for her long term. There are still some people that want to put her on the block. There are still some people that want to target her. If Tiffany decides to cut off that valve, she's back in the doghouse, right? So for me, it's a 6 right now, but she's definitely on an upward trajectory as opposed to some people who are, I think, you know, more established up at those 7s that are more on a downward trajectory. So keep that in mind for future weeks.
Yeah, I can live with that.
Are we in the
especially
copied city already?
Because I think it's one of those things maybe where I could have kept it a 6 and said, if this is the same.
I don't think we're here yet. Actually, we're near the end, aren't we? Of the first playthrough. Like, what's left? Like, there's the factory area that we need to go back to, and then there's the final battle, I think. So we're pretty close to the end, actually.
What is this?
Analysis. This area is composed of crystallized silicon and carbon. Further details unknown.
Who built it?
Unknown.
That's cool, because ending E of replicant.
What's with the corpses?
It is unlikely the Yorha units came this far on their own. Hypothesis. The enemy must have placed them here deliberately.
Yeah, we fight Adam and Eve here, right?
Welcome
Same situation.
to my beloved city. I, or we, machine life forms, I suppose, have a keen interest in humanity, love,
Okay,
family,
this isn't a real fight.
religion, war. The more human records I unearth, the more charmed I am by their complexity. This city is one of many areas I created out of a desire to understand, to know humans. It's grand, don't you think? Almost spiritual. And yet it's currently nothing more than an android graveyard. I seek to learn and adopt
This is
all
Adam.
facets of humanity.
That was Eve.
Some desired love, others family.
Oh, no, Eve is Noctis, right?
Only then
Then it bumps up to
did
a
I
7.
realize the
I
truth.
think ultimately
core
6
of
works.
humanity
It was a 6 or a 7 either way. So it
is
works.
conflict.
There you go.
They
All right,
fight,
so let's
steal,
move on to
kill.
Kylan.
This
Puya,
is
how do
humanity.
you feel about Kylan?
It's purest
All
form.
right, so this one's
You know
gonna be
nothing about
this one's
humanity.
gonna be interesting because I might
Have
be. I don't know if I'm on an
offended you,
island. I don't know if it's a lonely island.
Did I
We'll
speak
find out.
ill of your beloved
Should
humans?
Sarah Beth leave
The
next week?
truth can be
I don't
so
think Kylan's in a bad spot.
I strive
don't
to
think
attain
it's the worst thing
nothing
for his
less
game.
than the
I understand that
essence
this is
of
someone who he probably has the closest
We
tie to.
machines
But
exist in
if I'm
connected
looking
network.
further ahead, I
We are
feel like
immortal,
Kylan now
invincible,
is
and
looked at
yet,
as much less
within
threatening.
all those
Because that's someone who's tied to him
infinite
completely
there
gone.
exists
He's
not
going to be
even
seen like he's on a lonely
flicker of
island.
being.
And I can see other people going back to take him in.
Death,
I could see that. I
even
see
the
a lot of
concept of
different
death,
pairings in the house. You
has
know, you've got your
no
Claire and Tiffany's, you've got your Alyssa Christians. Why go after Kylan at that point? He's a little bit on his own.
Okay.
Thus I decided that I shall risk my life in battle. I have severed my connection to the network. Now, let us embrace death.
And we know he's got the capabilities. We know he's in a lot of little alliances here. I think that the biggest mistake for Tiffany is to remain faithful to the Cookout 6 for her personal win equity, because at 6, Kylan is in a Final 3 with Big D and with Xavier that I think could help him big time there. I think that he's still got a decent relationship with Hannah as well. I think he's socially great. I think he's someone that has the capability to pick himself up and move on from losing Sarah Beth. I don't think he's going to go down with the ship. Was he going to probably put up a little bit of a fight? I could see that. But I don't see him tanking his game for her. And I think that if she leaves, it makes him seem weaker, which will keep him longer. I'm keeping him at an 8. I'm voting an 8. Confidently.
An 8 from Booyah. Melissa, what do you think?
Okay. That was weird.
I do enjoy this.
Ooh, so Claire's telling Kylan about SD being the target.
I prepared this just for you. I mean, after all, we all need something to fight for, don't we?
You son of a... I'll kill you!
Yes! That's it. That's the feeling. Pure hate! Come!
Worried about Kylan. I mean, not fully worried about Kylan because, like we said, you know, I do think that he can kind of pick himself up and not be too, you know, thrown off if Sarah Beth gets out next week or whatever. But I am worried about his position with Tiffany and people that he was working with before. And I know it's interesting because I keep referring back to Tiffany when I talk about each of these players and their position in the house, but really, like, I do feel like she is the hub of everything going on in the house. And I think that if you're in a bad spot with her, you're in a bad spot. So I am worried about Kylan because, you know, it's one thing to have Tiffany, you know, upset with you, but it's another thing to be like, hey, is everything good with us? And she's like, yeah, we're good, but really she's not, and it doesn't want to have any sort of like reconciliation or any sort of, you know, let's figure this out. She clearly doesn't seem to be wanting to work with him all that much anymore, or at least not as much as she had been, you know, with her final 2 and everything. So I do think he's in a worse position. Not to mention the fact that Sarah Beth is one of his strongest allies, and she is next on the chopping block. So I'm worried for him. I think that he is in a worse position than he was before. And so, but I don't think he's in an awful position. I still think that he has it. I still think he can figure it out. But I think that he might need to go with a different strategy, like, you know, teaming up with Derek X and Sarah Beth and Hannah, instead of relying on the Tiffany Claire sort of situation that he was possibly relying on before. So
Is this death? So dark, so cold.
Okay, last episode uploaded.
Alright, guys.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I don't know how much more I want to do.
9S!
After this episode, we'll see. Oh, are we in game? Oh, fuck. I thought that was a cutscene.
9S. Come on. Let's go home.
next opportunity. I don't know, I'm debating over, like, because, like, I feel like we can finish playthrough A if I really wanted to here. I just don't know if I want to.
Damn. 9S really went through hell. But you're the boss. You want him sent up to command body and all? I'll make it happen.
Thanks.
Oh. What? Nothing. Just... You've never been much for gratitude, you know? Not that I mind or anything. Oh, I also have a message for you. Command needs you to contact them ASAP. Got it.
Yeah, so I'm looking it up. Yeah, all that's left of playthrough A is the factory, and then, oh, I'm
This is
this now, I
2B.
guess.
Patch me through to the commander.
Oh, hey, 2B. Roger that. Give me just a second here.
2B, good job destroying that machine. Upon further analysis, we learned that the machine, codenamed Adam, was responsible for managing half of their entire network. A disruption of this magnitude to their network should weaken the machine significantly.
What's going to happen to 9S?
He'll undergo a full data overhaul up here. Assuming we don't encounter any problems, we're planning to partner him with you again.
Thank you.
In the meantime, I have another mission for you. I've mailed you the briefing. Go ahead and take a look.
Understood.
Okay. So,
Mail notification received from access point.
let's actually go ahead and let's restock on this. How much money do we have? I don't know if that's really enough to... I don't know if I want to. I think we'll hold off. Well, I mean, we're just gonna save. Then we'll do another episode. Wait, we're at 30, right? Yeah, we're at 37. Yeah, so once here. Next episode continue on. For now, thank you for watching.